Moving on, Swapnil Kothari, as a senior lawyer, how do you look at what's unfolded in the court? The argument that the Enforcement Directorate has placed before the court, the allegations that seem to be emerging from the BJP, including a top minister of the BJP, to court saying we are open to constructive criticism, but we are very sure there's no exception given to law in this case, with a political party, a principal opponent, the BJP here, claiming that, listen, this is unprecedented.
Good evening, Sneha. I think the Enforcement Directorate is absolutely right in putting its stand forth that they have done their job. There is money laundering possibly involved. And at the end of the day, even if the case by the Enforcement Directorate is fictitious, at the instance of the BJP, as claimed by the opposition or by Aam Aadmi Party, ultimately it's the Supreme Court which takes the call on that. The Supreme Court is not wedded to any party. It is wedded to the Constitution. It follows the dictates of the Constitution and the Criminal Procedure Code and the Indian Penal Code and the Evidence Act. The Supreme Court has taken a stand that you have to return to jail on 2nd June. And regardless of what Mr. Arvind Kejriwal says, that if you vote for Lotus, I'll not come, I'll be out of jail. And if you vote for BJP, I'll be in, and things like that. These statements have no relevance at all. Ultimately, what matters at the end of the day is that there is a Supreme Court order, regardless of who someone votes for, who doesn't vote for. It has got no bearing on that case. Ultimately, it will be decided by the court as to how much time
two things, Mr. Kothari. Two things. Is Mr. Kejriwal claiming something like this, which Enforcement Directorate has objected to? Is that a violation of bail conditions? I mean, I know you can't get into the technicalities of it. You have to see the larger picture, but largely making a statement like this, where he's been told not to speak anything about this particular case, is a statement like this. Can it be seen as a violation of the bail order? Secondly, how do you look as a legal lawyer, as a legal mind, how do you look at the allegation or the claim that this is an unprecedented case? Is it?
Well, it's not a unprecedented case. Unprecedented because the Chief Minister of Delhi is sitting in jail, perhaps unprecedented as to that aspect. And I think it is unprecedented because we don't expect Chief Ministers to be sitting in jail. That's the way I look at it, as unprecedented. Not the way it's been put it out to be, and it's put a spin on that. Second part is to answer your first question, whether it's a violation of the bail condition. I think if you give a bail to a person and say that, okay, you can canvass for yourself, a few statements here and there are bound to be made, as long as they are not, insulting to the court or anything of that matter, then I don't think the Supreme Court will pay much heed to that. You have to go by simply that, okay, he's putting out his case, he's canvassing for himself. He's saying that if you vote for BJP, I'll have to go back to jail. If you vote for me, I don't have to. I don't understand, even if I vote for him, why he'll still have to go to jail. How is that possible? The Supreme Court has told him that you'll have to come back, so it doesn't matter who one votes
That's for. A question that I want to ask the Aam Aadmi Party. No, that's a pertinent point that you're making, and frankly, that's a question that everybody would ask. But before I go to Mr. Hakim, if I can get back to Jasmine, my one question to you. Everybody in BJP is looking at Arvind Kejriwal, at what he's speaking and what he's not speaking. Of course, he's going to play politics. He's a chief minister who's been put in jail. He's out on bail. He's an accused in a massive case. He's an accused. He's not even somebody who's suspect or, whatever. He's an accused in that case. Of course, he's going to make a politics out of it. My question is, why is ED playing this in the court? Why are you not going to the court?
Well, we don't think that we need to go to the court because, as you say, that why are we so focused on Kejriwal? We are not focused on Kejriwal. He is one part of an opposition, and he's not such a big leader for us, the way the boogie is being created by his party, that, we are kind of, scared of him or anything. He does not, in the larger picture of scheme of things, he doesn't matter to us. The thing
forget about being scared. I mean, that's a political rhetoric. I'm not going to get into that. My question is, if he is an accused in a case, a chief minister is an accused in a case, I'm not talking about how big or small he is, why isn't BJP, which is one of the biggest parties in the country that is looking for a third, challenging him in court, saying that he has violated the conditions rather than creating a political rhetoric in campaigns or on television.
Sneh, the thing is this, that it is the ED which is investigating a case against him and not the BJP. A political party is not holding investigations against him. It is the Enforcement Directorate which has filed a case against him, and it is the ED's duty under the laws of the country that it will approach the court or the rule of the law. And I do want 1 second to say something, and that is not from a point of view from just being as a person, as a spokesperson of the BJP. I want to raise a question here, that is that will not all politicians take undue advantage of this unprecedented bail which has been given to him, and a person who defied 9 times the ED summons, and to say that because I have to go in electioneering, I should be given a bail. Okay, he's given the bail, but to instigate the electorate, to instigate the people and say, if you do vote for me, I will not go back to the jail. Is that not a defiance? Is that not a defiance against the rules and the laws of the country? This will lead to anarchy. This is
point taken. I will go to Mr. Kothari on that as well. But just to make a point, Hemant Soren definitely went to court saying exactly that there has been, Arvind Kejriwal has been given bail on so and so grounds, so must I. He's not been given bail. He's not been given bail. So to say that politicians will use this, at least in Hemant Soren case, doesn't seem to be coming together. But I will go to the legal mind, the legal brain on our show for more on that. Before that, allow me to go to Hakeem Rizwan. Hakeem, would you want to respond to the question, what do you mean by lotus? If you stamp on the lotus, I will go inside jail. If you stamp on the broom, I will not. I mean, what does that even mean? Even if the Aam Aadmi Party is stamped, how is he not going to go in jail?
I will tell you
what is the nomination that are you going?
Obviously, what's wrong in saying that? Isn't that a fact? How Bharatiya Janata
It's not about
Party,
wrong. I'm trying to understand. What do you mean by that? Are you trying to say that the Aam Aadmi Party will be able to?
You have got a person here who can speak legally. You have got Bharatiya Janata Party, the party which has been in power since so long and using all the establishments. They will, they will speak on that part. But what I'm going to speak on is that Arvind Kejriwal ji is the public representative, and the people of Delhi and Punjab has given him the mandate. And if he won't speak, then who will speak? If he won't speak, he has just spoke some words. Why don't ED and CBI and all these agencies arrest Narendra Modi ji for saying a communal slurs in Rajasthan? Why is not he been taken on board when he speaks something which is against the integrity of our nation? Nobody is talking about it. But when Arvind Kejriwal says just a simple word, it becomes a huge issue. So this is my question to Bharatiya Janata Party and all the establishments which are playing right now on behest of Bharatiya Janata Party just because they know somewhere Bharatiya Janata Party might win. But the truth is Bharatiya Janata Party has lost its ground. That's why they have been using their last card, which is polarizing our nation on religious lines, secular, social lines, and other lines.
You've made your political rhetoric even on this show, Hakeem Rizwan Ilahi, and I've allowed you well on that. But just to ask what you said, what you asked about ED and CBI going and arresting.
According to
I mean, in communal hatred cases, they are not the agencies. However, I understand what you're trying to say. No, I understand what you're trying to say. Swapnil Kothari.
According to the Ministry of Home Affairs,
hold on. All right, Swapnil Kothari.